Have you ever felt like life keeps handing you the same script? No matter how much you try to change, the faces may shift, the places may differ, but the emotions, the weight, the frustration, the strange familiarity always return. That isn't coincidence. That's your vibration rehearsing the past. Imagine reality as a quantum mirror. It doesn't show you what you wish for, it reflects what you broadcast. Every thought, every reaction, every hidden emotion is a frequency, and the universe is simply mirroring it back. If your inner field is filled with yesterday's patterns, then tomorrow can only echo yesterday's song. This message didn't just stumble into your feed. You didn't randomly click. The audit has begun. Something in your frequency called this moment into being because you're ready to face the question. Most people never dare to ask, is my vibration truly creating the new, or is it endlessly rehearsing the old? Look closely at your own experience. The déjà vu moment, the dreams that replay like reruns, the sensation of time bending, days disappearing, and yet nothing feels different. These are not glitches, they're signals, proof that your frequency is on repeat. But here's the hidden key: an audit isn't punishment, it's opportunity. The universe is not judging you, it's reflecting you, showing you exactly where your vibration stands. And right now, you stand at a threshold, because once you see the loop, you can break it. Once you hear the echo, you can shift the song. This isn't just about changing habits, it's about shifting frequencies. And if you're here, listening now, you've already been chosen to step into the audit that will end the rehearsal and open the stage to a new reality. Have you noticed how certain emotions keep returning, almost like background music? You didn't choose but can't turn off. You wake up ready for a new day. Yet somehow frustration, doubt, or heaviness slips in before anything has even happened. This isn't random. It's the vibration of emotional rehearsal, your body and mind replaying yesterday's frequency. Think of it like a broken record. Even if the stage of your life changes, the people, the places, the opportunities, the same soundtrack of emotions keeps looping. Unhealed is behind different faces. Disappointment wears new disguises. Fear sneaks into fresh situations. It feels new on the surface, but at the vibrational level, it's just the past rehearsing itself again and again. This is how the observer loop traps you. Your consciousness collapses reality not from the future you want, but from the emotions you've already practiced. Neuroscience confirms this every time you recall an old feeling. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between memory and now. It floods your body with the same chemicals, the same sensations, as if the past is happening again. Quantum physics says the same observation doesn't just see reality, it creates it. So when you observe life through the lens of yesterday's emotions, you collapse those very same probabilities into today. Here's the hidden truth: repetition isn't neutral. Every repeated emotion strengthens the loop. Every time you react in the old way, you rehearse the past into the present, and every rehearsal makes tomorrow less free, but awareness changes everything. The moment you notice the broken record, you hold the power to lift the needle, to stop the rehearsal, to let silence open space for a new song. The reason emotional rehearsal is so powerful is because it feeds directly into what quantum researchers call the observer loop. Your awareness doesn't just notice reality, it selects it, collapses it, and then reinforces it. And when the same observation is repeated day after day, it creates what can only be described as a reality feedback loop. Here's how it works. You wake up with the same emotion. That emotion filters your perception. You observe life through the lens of fear, lack, or disappointment. And because observation is creative, the quantum field responds by collapsing more events that match that exact frequency. The more you observe, the stronger the pattern grows. The stronger the pattern grows, the more you observe it again tomorrow. It's self-perpetuating. Think of it like a hall of mirrors. Each thought, each feeling bounces back at you, multiplied until it feels impossible to escape. You aren't just seeing your circumstances, you're feeding them, amplifying them, energizing them into solid form. Most people call this bad luck or repeating mistakes. But at the quantum level, it's simply the observer loop recycling the same reality. This is why time itself begins to feel distorted. Days stretch without progress. Weeks vanish without meaning. You feel like you're moving forward, but in truth, you're walking in a circle. The loop creates the illusion of movement while locking you into the same vibrational template. And here's the subtle trap: the harder you try to fix it with the same mindset, the deeper the loop ingrains. Because effort itself, when powered by the same vibration, only repeats the cycle. Recognition, not effort, is the first crack in the loop. So what happens when the observer loop keeps running unchecked? You begin to live inside stuck timelines. The future doesn't unfold with new possibilities. It simply recycles the old. Every new relationship feels strangely familiar. Every opportunity circles back to the same frustration. Life becomes a déjà vu carousel, spinning endlessly, giving the illusion of variety while delivering the same vibration. This is why you sometimes sense that you've had the same conversation before, in the same tone, with the same outcome. That's not imagination. That's what quantum researchers call temporal echoes, your consciousness brushing against the edges of repeated probability tracks. You're not crazy. You're simply aware enough to feel the loop. The cost of these stuck timelines is subtle but immense. Instead of expansion, you experience contraction. Instead of growth, you rehearse survival. Your nervous system becomes addicted to the chemistry of the past, mistaking familiarity for safety. The quantum field is infinite, yet you're only pulling from the narrow shelf of what you've already known. And here lies the most dangerous part. The more you accept these repetitions as normal, the more invisible the loop becomes. Most people spend entire lifetimes mistaking déjà vu for coincidence, thinking their patterns are fate, never realizing they are simply vibrating the same song into existence. But the fact that you recognize this pattern now is proof of your awakening. Because once you name the loop, you stand outside of it. Once you see the carousel, you no longer have to keep riding. Recognition is the first doorway to freedom, and you've just opened it. One of the clearest signals that your vibration is rehearsing the past comes through your dreams. Have you noticed certain dreams replaying themselves again and again? Like reruns of an old show, the faces might change. The setting may look slightly different, but the emotional core, the feeling of fear, loss, or unfinished business remains exactly the same. This is not just random brain activity. In quantum terms, dreams are windows into your vibrational state. When you enter sleep, your conscious mind relaxes, but your subconscious continues broadcasting the frequency you've rehearsed all day. If that frequency is tethered to the past, your dream state simply mirrors it back. The repetition isn't meaningless, it's a diagnostic of your vibration. Think of it like a nightly performance review. The quantum field doesn't take weekends off. Every night, it shows you where your energy is stuck. You might dream of being trapped in the same building, missing the same flight, arguing with the same archetypal figures. These scenarios are symbolic expressions of your frequency, revealing the loops that your waking mind might try to ignore. The fascinating part is that your nervous system reacts to dreams as if they're real. Your heart races, your body sweats, your mind carries the residue into the next morning. Which means the vibrational rehearsal extends beyond the night, it bleeds into the day. The cycle continues. You rehearse the past during waking hours, the past echoes back in your sleep, and then sleep fuels the same vibration for tomorrow. But recognition shifts everything. When you begin to track these dream patterns, you start to see the invisible script playing out. Dreams become less about confusion and more about confirmation proof that your vibration is looping. And the moment you recognize the rehearsal, you gain the power to rewrite the script. Another unmistakable sign that your vibration is rehearsing the past is the way you experience time distortion. Have you noticed how entire weeks seem to disappear without meaningful change? Or how minutes can stretch endlessly during repetitive, uninspired moments, while hours vanish in what feels like a blink. This isn't just poor time management. It's evidence that your consciousness is circling inside the same vibrational track. Here's why in the quantum field, time isn't linear, it's elastic. Your awareness bends it depending on the frequencies you inhabit. When your vibration is anchored in repetition, your consciousness keeps pulling from the same probability templates. The result, time loses its natural rhythm. It either drags painfully or collapses into nothing because there's no novelty, no expansion, no genuine movement into new realities. Think of it like walking on a treadmill. Your body is in motion, but you're not traveling anywhere. The scenery doesn't change. The observer loop creates this treadmill effect on a vibrational level. You feel like you're moving through life, but in truth, you're circling the same energetic ground. The distortion of time is your inner alarm clock, warning you are rehearsing, not creating. This explains why some days feel like déjà vu stretched across hours. It's not because life is boring, it's because your vibration is recycling. The quantum field mirrors this by bending time to match your frequency. In other words, your energy decides whether time feels heavy and stuck, or alive and expansive. And here's the gift hidden inside the distortion awareness. Every time you notice time bending unnaturally, you're actually catching the loop in action. That recognition is your chance to step off the treadmill, to shift frequency, and to invite a timeline where time feels fluid, alive, and filled with possibility. Perhaps the most disorienting sign that your vibration is rehearsing the past is what I call emotional déjà vu. It's not just recognizing a place or a face, it's recognizing the emotion itself. You step into a brand new situation, yet the same familiar wave of fear, anger, or disappointment rises instantly, as if your body already knew the script. This isn't coincidence. It's vibrational memory. Your nervous system is so conditioned to the chemistry of old emotions that it automatically plays them out. Even when the circumstances are different, the scene is new, but the frequency is recycled. Think about it. You meet someone new, but they trigger the same irritation you felt with someone from years ago. You start a job, and within weeks, the same sense of being undervalued resurfaces. The details shift, yet the emotional climate remains unchanged. That's because your vibration has been trained to rehearse that state, and so it attracts scenarios to justify its existence. In the quantum field, this is a self-fulfilling contract. The energy you embody becomes the template. The universe mirrors back. Your emotional déjà vu isn't random. It's evidence that your field is still broadcasting yesterday's frequency. And every time you unconsciously agree with it by reacting the same way you sign the contract again, but awareness transforms the game. The next time emotional déjà vu strikes, pause. Instead of rushing into the familiar reaction, notice the script being offered. Ask yourself, am I rehearsing or am I creating? That single moment of presence cracks the loop, because once you see the repetition for what it is, you no longer mistake it for fate. Emotional déjà vu turns from trap into teacher, revealing exactly where your vibration is still stuck and exactly where your freedom begins. Have you ever wondered why the emotions of the past feel so alive? Even years after the original event, neuroscience offers a revealing answer. Your brain is wired to build what scientists call neural superhighways. Every time you think a thought or feel an emotion, neurons fire and connect. The more often you repeat that state, the stronger the connection becomes, until eventually it turns into a mental freeway, fast, automatic, and hard to exit. This is why it's so easy to slip back into old feelings. Your brain has literally built the road back to them. Fear, anger, sadness, shame, they all become well-traveled highways. While joy, expansion, and possibility remain like narrow dirt paths. You rarely visit. Your nervous system, designed for survival, clings to the familiar, even if the familiar is painful. Think of it like water carving a canyon. At first, it's just a trickle. But with repetition, the stream deepens, widens, and eventually becomes the only direction water knows how to flow. Your emotions work the same way. What you rehearse, you reinforce. What you reinforce, you relive. This explains why certain triggers an expression on someone's face, a tone of voice. A particular place can instantly flood you with emotions from years ago. Your neural superhighway is so efficient that it doesn't ask for permission. It just drives you back into the past. But here's the breakthrough: neuroplasticity. The same brain that built those highways can build new ones. Each time you choose a different thought, a different emotion, you lay down a fresh pathway. At first, it's fragile, but with repetition, it strengthens, and eventually, the old highway begins to dissolve from lack of traffic. So while the past feels real because the brain has built roads leading there, those roads are not destiny. They're habits of wiring. And habits can change when you choose to drive somewhere new. If neuroscience explains why the past feels so sticky, quantum physics explains why it feels so real. At the most fundamental level, reality isn't fixed. It's a sea of probabilities. Every moment, infinite versions of you exist across infinite outcomes. But your observation, your vibration, collapses that field into one concrete experience. This is called the probability collapse. Here's the catch: if your vibration is rehearsing the past, then the probability you collapse will always match that frequency. In other words, you don't select a brand new possibility, you recycle an old one. The quantum field doesn't care whether it's joy or fear, growth or limitation. It simply mirrors the vibration you broadcast. Your repeated emotions act like tuning forks, striking the same note until the universe responds with the same echo. Think of it this way. Imagine walking through a vast library filled with books of every possible life you could live. The quantum field offers you all of them, but if your vibration is locked into the past, you'll keep pulling the same book off the shelf, the one you've already read 1,000 times. And every morning you open it again, mistaking it for the only story available. This is why déjà vu and repetitive life patterns feel inevitable. It's not destiny, it's selection. You're unconsciously collapsing probabilities that match your familiar frequency. Reality doesn't repeat itself. You repeat your vibration. And reality simply obeys. But here lies the hidden opportunity: the moment you shift your vibration, you shift your access point, a new shelf opens. A new book falls into your hands. Probability collapse isn't punishment, it's participation. It's the universe saying, I'll mirror whatever you embody. Which means the future only changes when your frequency does. If neural highways explain the biology and probability collapse explains the physics, then what ties it all together is the invisible script, the unseen storyline that keeps casting you in the same role. This script isn't written in ink. It's etched in frequency. Every unresolved emotion, every belief you've accepted as truth, every survival pattern your nervous system clings to, these form a vibrational code that quietly dictates the plot of your life. You may think you're improvising, but in reality, you're just reciting lines you didn't know were handed to you. Think of it like being an actor in a play you never auditioned for. The stage changes. The costumes change. Even the supporting cast rotates, yet somehow, you always find yourself repeating the same dialogue, reliving the same endings. That's the invisible script at work. What makes it so powerful is that you rarely notice it. It hides beneath logic. It whispers through, "This is just how I am," or "Life is always like this." It disguises itself as personality, when in truth, it's conditioning. The script runs on autopilot, and unless you become aware, it keeps rehearsing the same reality. Here's the secret: the invisible script isn't permanent. It's not fate, it's programming. And programming can be rewritten. The moment you shine awareness on it, the lines lose their grip. The moment you choose a new vibration, the old dialogue begins to dissolve, and that's when something miraculous happens. Silence. The stage pauses. For the first time, you're no longer trapped in the script. You're the author holding the pen. And from there, you don't just rehearse old lines, you create new ones. written in the frequency of your highest self. Here's the truth. Almost no one talks about the universe is not passive. It's not a blank stage waiting for you to act upon it. It is an intelligent field, alive with feedback, constantly measuring the vibration you emit. In other words, the universe is performing a frequency audit. Think of it like cosmic accounting. Every thought, every emotion, every reaction is entered into the energetic ledger. Not as punishment, not as reward, but as resonance. The field doesn't judge you, it mirrors you. And in doing so, it reveals the exact frequency you are rehearsing. This is why certain patterns keep resurfacing in your life. It's not because you're cursed, and it's not because destiny is cruel. It's because the audit is reflecting what you've broadcast. If you emit scarcity, the audit shows you lack. If you radiate fear, the audit brings mirrors of threat. If you embody coherence, the audit reveals synchronicities, opportunities, and flow. The universe isn't keeping score, it's keeping resonance. And this realization changes everything. Because once you understand that every repeated vibration is being mirrored back, you see life not as random chaos but as structured feedback. The field is showing you, with precision, whether you are creating or rehearsing. Imagine holding a tuning fork. Strike it, and the room hums at its pitch. The universe is the room. Your vibration is the fork. The audit is the echo that comes back, unmistakably telling you what note you're actually playing. This is the hidden truth. You are not simply living life. You are broadcasting, and the universe is auditing. Every day, every moment, it reflects your embodied frequency, and the question it's asking is simple. Are you rehearsing the past or creating the future? Most people believe the observer effect is the great secret of quantum reality, the idea that what you watch collapses into form. And while that's true, it's only half the story. Observation alone doesn't create lasting change. You can stare at a possibility all you want, but if your vibration doesn't match it, the field won't hold it. The real key is embodiment. The universe doesn't respond to what you look at, it responds to what you are. If you observe abundance but embody fear, you'll collapse the probabilities of scarcity again and again. If you visualize love but carry the vibration of rejection, you'll attract relationships that mirror rejection, no matter how many times you meditate on the vision. This is why so many people feel frustrated when they try to manifest something. They confuse observation with embodiment. They believe looking at a new reality is enough, when in truth, it's the frequency they embody that determines the outcome. The observer effect is the doorway, but embodiment is the key that turns the lock. Think of it like shining a quantum spotlight. Observation shines the light onto a possibility. But unless your vibration matches, the light fades, the possibility dissolves, and the stage returns to darkness. Only when you embody the new frequency does the spotlight hold steady, illuminating that version of reality until it stabilizes. This deeper layer is the audit most people miss. The universe isn't just asking, what are you looking at? It's asking, what are you embodying? And the answer to that question determines whether you remain in rehearsal or step into creation. Here's the shock. Most people never see coming. Every vibration you repeat is an unconscious contract with the past. Each time you feel the same fear, collapse into the same shame, or rehearse the same anger, you are not just experiencing emotion, you are renewing an energetic agreement. You're saying to the universe, yes, I choose this reality again. It doesn't matter whether you speak it aloud. Frequency is louder than words. Your vibration signs the contract silently, and the universe, faithful to resonance, delivers the matching storyline. This is why the same problems seem to follow you from city to city, from partner to partner, from job to job. It's not geography, it's frequency. Think of it like a subscription you forgot to cancel. Each month, the payment is withdrawn, and the package arrives at your door. You don't consciously want it anymore, but until you cancel the contract, the delivery keeps coming. Your repeated emotions are the autopay of reality. Unless you intervene, The loop renews itself indefinitely. This is why awareness is revolutionary. The instant you recognize the contract, you can refuse to sign it again. You can pause, breathe, and declare this loop ends now. That declaration is not just words, it's a frequency shift, a signal to the universe that you are no longer in agreement with the old reality. And here's the power. The moment you break one unconscious contract, space opens for a new one. A higher vibration, a new storyline, a different future. The audit isn't here to punish you. It's here to ask, will you keep signing the past? Or will you embody the new? This is the line in the sand. Every vibration is a choice. Every choice is a contract. And today, you hold the pen. The first step to resetting your frequency is not to chase the new, it's to release the old. As long as your energy is entangled with past vibrations, no amount of visualization or intention can stabilize a new reality. Letting go isn't weakness. It's alignment. Think of your vibration like a glass already filled to the brim with yesterday's water. You can pour in all the fresh water you want, but until you empty the glass, the old liquid dilutes the new. The same is true with frequency. You can't embody the future while carrying the past. Letting go means breaking resonance. It means refusing to keep broadcasting the old frequency, no matter how familiar it feels. This is often the hardest part because the body clings to what it knows. It tells you the old anger, the old grief, even the old anxiety is safe, simply because it's familiar. But familiar isn't safe, it's stagnant. At the quantum level, letting go is decoherence. The particles that once held together as your old reality scatter, dissolve, and lose their grip. This creates an opening for coherence with something higher, something new. Without release, no reset is possible. With release, the field reorganizes instantly. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means withdrawing your signature from the contract. It means declaring, that frequency no longer belongs to me. In that moment, you are no longer rehearsing. You are reclaiming your freedom. So before you chase the new, pause. Empty the glass. Let the old water flow away. The universe cannot fill what you refuse to clear. Your future is waiting, but it requires space. And that space is created the moment you let go. Awareness breaks the contract, but ritual seals the choice. When you engage your body, your breath, and your intention, you send a signal to the quantum field that the rehearsal is over. That's why a simple mini ritual can be so powerful. It collapses the old loop and anchors the new frequency. Here's one practice. Take a blank piece of paper and write the words, "This loop ends now." As you write, imagine every repeated fear, every recycled disappointment, every old vibration being pulled into those words. Then, with presence, burn the paper. Watch the smoke rise, carrying the old frequency back into nothingness. This act isn't symbolic, it's energetic. You're canceling the contract in real time. Pair this with breath. Place your hand on your heart and take 3 deep, intentional breaths. On the inhale, feel the body receiving new space. On the exhale, imagine releasing the old frequency into the field. 3 breaths is all it takes to collapse the chemistry of the past and reset the nervous system for coherence. These micro practices matter because they bring embodiment. You're not just thinking about change, you're enacting it. The nervous system loves ritual. It registers action as evidence. And the universe loves clarity. It mirrors back decisive signals. Together, ritual and awareness transform your frequency from rehearsal into reset. The loop thrives on passivity, on repetition without recognition. Ritual interrupts it. Declaration dissolves it. Breath reorders it. When you combine these elements, you create a moment. The quantum field cannot ignore a clear broadcast that says the rehearsal is over. A new song begins. Once you've released the old frequency and canceled the loop, the next step is to stabilize coherence with your highest timeline. This is where affirmation becomes more than words. it becomes frequency alignment. Here's a declaration that carries power. I am coherent with my highest timeline. When spoken with presence, it's not a hope, not a wish, but a vibrational command. It tells your body, your nervous system, and the quantum field that you refuse to rehearse the past, and that you are now anchoring into the reality of your highest self. Affirmations work because language encodes frequency. Words are sound, sound is vibration, and vibration shapes reality. But the secret is embodiment. If you repeat the words mechanically, the field won't shift. When you declare them with emotion, breath, and belief, you transmit coherence. The affirmation becomes a tuning fork, aligning every cell in your body with the vibration of your chosen future. Try this practice. Place both hands over your heart. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply, and on the exhale, speak the words aloud. I am coherent with my highest timeline. Feel the resonance in your chest, as if your entire being is striking the note of truth. Repeat it 3 times, each time allowing more conviction, more embodiment, until the words are no longer outside you, they are you. This is how you stabilize a new frequency. The declaration becomes a contract, not with the past, but with the future. It's a conscious agreement to embody the self that already exists on your highest timeline. And the more often you practice, the more real that timeline becomes until it is no longer a possibility, but your lived reality. Shifting your frequency isn't about one grand moment. It's about daily choices. This is where micro practices become powerful. They don't take hours, yet they reprogram your vibration step by step until the new frequency becomes your natural state. Here's the first practice each morning. Before reaching for your phone or replaying yesterday's thoughts, pause and ask yourself a simple question. Am I rehearsing? Or am I creating? That single inquiry shines a light on your state of being. If you wake up already carrying yesterday's heaviness, awareness breaks the autopilot. If you feel open and light, the question reinforces creation. Next, bring coherence into your body with breath. Place your hand over your heart, close your eyes, and take 3 slow, intentional breaths. Imagine your heart as the conductor of your frequency, sending harmony through every cell. In that moment, you're not just thinking about change, you're embodying it. These small actions are not trivial. They are frequency resets. Each question interrupts the loop. Each breath stabilizes coherence. Done daily, they accumulate, building new neural pathways and new vibrational signatures. Over time, your default shifts from replaying the past to creating the future. This is the power of micro practices. They don't just shift moments, they shift trajectories. 1 question, 3 breaths. That's all it takes to begin broadcasting a different reality. Visualization becomes powerful when it's not just imagination, but embodiment. One of the simplest yet most transformative tools is the quantum mirror practice. Here's how it works. Close your eyes and imagine standing before a vast mirror, not a physical one, but a luminous quantum mirror that reflects not who you were, but who you are becoming. On the left, you see the version of yourself still rehearsing the past, the weight in their shoulders, the familiar patterns in their eyes, the endless loop. On the right, you see the self from your highest timeline, lighter, coherent, radiant with alignment. Now, step closer to the mirror. Watch the 2 versions blend, the old dissolving, the new shining brighter. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, I choose this frequency. Feel the resonance travel from your chest into the reflection until the figure in the mirror and the figure in your body are one. This is more than imagination, it's frequency rehearsal of the future. By practicing this daily, you train your nervous system to recognize the vibration of your highest self until it no longer feels foreign. Eventually, the body accepts it as normal, and the universe mirrors it back as reality. The quantum mirror is a reminder you're not trapped in the reflection of the past. You hold the power to choose which version of you the universe reflects. And the moment you declare alignment, the mirror shifts, and so does your life. Every practice, every ritual, every breath leads to this moment, the declaration of irreversible shift. A point where you no longer try, no longer hope, but decide. Reality bends not at the level of wishing, but at the level of declaration. Here's the key statement: my shift is irreversible. When spoken with presence, it's more than affirmation, it's contract. It tells the nervous system there is no going back. It tells the quantum field collapse the past, stabilize the new. And it tells your higher self, I choose alignment permanently. Why is this so powerful? Because the loop thrives on uncertainty. Every time you doubt, every time you leave the door cracked open for the old frequency, the loop sneaks back in. But when you declare irreversibility, you seal the door shut. The old reality can knock, but there's no entry. Here's a simple embodiment: stand tall, feet grounded, hand on your heart. Speak the words slowly. My shift is irreversible. Feel them vibrate through your chest, spine, and skin, until your body itself carries the declaration. Repeat it 3 times, each time louder, each time truer, until the words dissolve into being. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Declaring irreversibility doesn't mean you'll never face echoes of the past. It means those echoes no longer define you. They're shadows, not scripts. And once you've declared, the field reorganizes. Because the universe mirrors decisive frequencies. In that moment, you're no longer rehearsing, you're living the shift. And this time, there is no going back. Every frequency you embody doesn't stop at your skin. It radiates outward. Your personal shift becomes a signal, a broadcast that touches everyone you meet. This is the hidden power of transformation. It never stays private. Think of your vibration like a stone dropped into a still pond. The ripples move far beyond the point of impact. In the same way, when you step out of rehearsal and into creation, the coherence you generate becomes a ripple in the collective field. A single shift in your frequency can alter the atmosphere of a room, the mood of a family, even the trajectory of a community. Science calls this morphic resonance, the idea that when one being establishes a new pattern, it becomes easier for others to access it. Your awakening isn't just about you. It's about opening the field for countless others to awaken. 2. This is why your personal practice matters. Every breath of coherence, every declaration of irreversibility, every moment you refuse to sign the old contract, it all ripples outward. You may never see the full impact, but the field records it. Someone across the world may feel more permission to shift simply because you did, and this is the profound truth: when you rise, we all rise. The collective awakening is not a future event. It's happening now, in the silent ripples of each person who chooses coherence. Your shift is the stone, humanity is the pond. And the ripples are already moving. Humanity is not just a collection of individuals, it is a shared field. Every thought, every emotion, every act of coherence or chaos contributes to the larger vibrational climate of our species. Right now, we are living in a time when the field itself is shifting. The old scripts of fear and division are crumbling, and a new resonance is emerging. You can feel it in the subtle ways. Conversations about consciousness spreading into mainstream culture, synchronicities multiplying, people waking from autopilot and asking deeper questions. What seemed impossible a decade ago, talks of timelines, vibration. Quantum reality is now part of the collective dialogue. This is evidence that the awakening field is growing stronger. Think of humanity like a great orchestra. For centuries, the music was dominated by heavy, discordant notes: war, scarcity, survival. But more and more individuals are tuning their instruments differently. Every time you embody coherence, you tune your violin, your drum, your voice to a higher note. Slowly, the orchestra begins to sound different. The harmony expands. Anyuf symphone emerges. This is not just poetic, it's practical. Studies in collective meditation have shown measurable effects on crime rates, social tension, even global events. When enough people hold a frequency of coherence, the field itself begins to reorganize. Your shift contributes directly to humanity's trajectory. The awakening field is not a future destination. It's here, now, being woven through every conscious breath, every declaration of alignment, every ripple of coherence. You are not a spectator in humanity's story. You are an active note in the rising song. And the more of us who choose coherence, the louder that song becomes until it drowns out the old dissonance completely. Every individual shift is like a spark. Alone, it glows. Together, it ignites a fire. And when enough sparks gather, something extraordinary happens. The collective leap. This leap is not gradual, it's exponential. For decades, humanity has been inching forward, awakening one person at a time. But as the awakening field strengthens, a tipping point approaches. Imagine a scale for years. The weight of fear and repetition kept it tilted. But each act of coherence adds weight to the other side. Eventually, the balance breaks, and the scale flips. That is the collective leap. We see glimpses already. Entire communities are shifting toward holistic living, conscious connection, and quantum awareness. What once felt fringe is now mainstream. What once felt impossible is becoming inevitable. This isn't random. It's the momentum of coherence building toward breakthrough. The leap doesn't mean everyone awakens at once. It means the field reorganizes so profoundly that awakening becomes the default option, not the rare exception. Children are born already attuned to higher frequencies. Old systems collapse because they can no longer sustain lower vibrations. Humanity itself rewrites its script, and you are part of this leap. Your declaration, your ritual, your coherence is not just personal transformation. It's contribution. It's fuel for the collective. The universe is not waiting for governments or systems to awaken. It's waiting for individuals to tip the scale. The future is not written. It is chosen, moment by moment, vibration by vibration. And as more of us choose coherence, we step into a future where the collective leap is not a prophecy, it is reality. You did not arrive here by accident. Every word you've heard is part of the audit, the universe showing you exactly where your vibration has been rehearsing the past, and exactly how to reset it. The truth is simple, your frequency is the script. If you continue to repeat the old vibration, the loop renews itself. But if you release, reset, and declare, the future bends. The audit isn't judgment, it's invitation. An invitation to step out of rehearsal and into creation. So here is your declaration. My frequency is no longer rehearsing the past. My shift is irreversible. I am coherent with my highest timeline. Speak it, feel it, embody it. And know that when you do, the universe records it instantly. This is your moment. This is the line where the past dissolves and the future responds. Type your declaration in the comments below. Let it be seen. Let it ripple. Let it become real. Because your frequency is not just yours. It's a signal to the collective. And today, that signal says, the rehearsal is over. The awakening has begun.